What's up, residents? Jacob here, and we got a little bit of a different video for you guys today, but I can tell you it's got a lot of drama that you're gonna want to not miss out on. Unless you're just getting on YouTube for the first time in the last week, it's been a relatively great time for us kaiju fans because we got the new reveal of Godzilla -1, the new Toho Godzilla film set to come out later this year in both Japan and America. But anyway, guys, we got some bad news to talk about, and I just wanted to bring it up with you guys in this kind of more casual format, so this video is not going to have much flashy editing or really anything like that. Alright, so you guys know how we've been really excited waiting for this year's Comic-Con because we knew that Legendary was going to have a panel that no doubt was probably going to, show us some MonsterVerse content. And now all of that's under question because not just Legendary, but like most of the companies and studios that were set to make appearances at this year's Comic-Con have pulled out. They've canceled their shows. Now this shouldn't affect either the new Apple Godzilla TV show set in the MonsterVerse or the new Empire movie. But it's probably gonna affect everyone else who has to rely on these studios and companies to deliver in terms of marketing, including us here on the channel. By the way, if you didn't already know, I got a green screen behind me, so I'm trying to figure that out, rocking this new style of editing, so bear with me as I learn this thing. Hopefully it looks good for you right now. I'll tell you one thing, this is a little different for me. So let's quickly recap what was supposed to happen at this year's Comic-Con coming from Legendary. Saturday, July 22nd, we were intended to get a panel conference from Legendary Studios. Now reports claim that most of the panel was going to be covering Dune 2, Legendary's other successful franchise. But there was also supposedly a set amount of time that was going to feature official reveals for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Now, as always, keep your mind open here, but everyone's go-to source for behind-the-scenes MonsterVerse and Kaiju news, KDM, kind of filled me in on what was supposed to be shown here for the new movie. Allegedly, they were going to show us behind-the-scenes footage for Godzilla X Kong, as well as a few shots from the movie that would have likely have been concept art or some epic pictures of the actors or characters or Godzilla or Kong or whatever, you know what I mean. And now, well, we're not getting that, at least at the Comic-Con convention. They may still go ahead and release all of this content online, but no doubt in a watered-down version in comparison to what would have been shown at the convention. They usually doll the thing up to make everyone in the crowd go like, yee! So why is this all happening in the first place? This is due to the writers' strike going on currently in Hollywood, and it's gotten worse, as now even actors are getting involved and starting a strike of their own. So why is everyone going on strike in Hollywood right now? Well, first off, they should have done this 10 years ago, back before they started putting out garbage like the new Halo show, Rings of Power, and She-Hulk. Definitely would have given them more leverage to say that they're worth it. But in short, the industry's bigwigs, like the CEOs and the producers, well, they're just being the typical shady, rich, greedy assholes that we have come to know very well in our modern society these days. Now, according to my research, at first it was about the writers not getting paid enough for their work. They weren't getting enough from royalties. I read something online that from DVD sales, like the producers and the company would keep like 75% of the royalties and all that, while everyone else who worked on the production, like hundreds of other people, would be, given that last little 25% of the income coming from the sales. So there's a lot of different things in play, and I don't want to act like I really know what's going on, but more or less it was about money and how they weren't really feeling appreciated for their work. But now it's moved even further into the wormhole of drama thanks to AI and how producers of these movies and productions want to pretty much use it to screw over creatives of all sorts in any way they can find. Why keep paying a human writer over and over again when you can just pay him once and then use AI to kind of copy his style, his flair, and then just have the AI keep making all the new content? Why have to keep paying a background actor to keep showing up and having to pay them $100 a day just to stand there when you could pay them for one day's worth of work and then CGI create, AI create their, likeliness into any other future movie you ever want to make, and you only had to pay that person once, right? Why do that? This is where the problem's stemming from, guys. At the end of the day, YouTubers like myself and everyone else, we know a little bit of what goes into these sort of studio productions, just on a much smaller scale, and I've dabbled with acting and kind of the film industry before in my past. So it's like I get where the writers and actors and everyone's coming from. They definitely get overworked and mistreated, there's no denying that. Now, what really sucks, now bear with me, I'm not trying to offend anyone right now, but this is a war between the rich that's really only going to hurt the lesser income making people that work on films, you know, like the people who work on the sets, the blue collar people, you know, the people that have to go around and, you know, give people their coffee, the people that actually are living paycheck to paycheck in the Hollywood industry. These are the people that are getting really hurt right now, not the millionaires and billionaires fighting over, you know, how much of the money they get to keep. But I don't want to give too much of my own opinions because it's the internet and you know how that works. Like I said, I get it. I don't want to be forced out of my creative endeavors because some rich people can just spend a ton of money on technology that makes my abilities useless. End of the day, in my experiences in this industry, yeah, it's pretty corrupt, guys. I'm sorry. The entertainment industries are full of backstabbing and two-faced people and really just rich people abusing less rich people. It's kind of messed up. Now I'm going to tell you why it shouldn't affect the future MonsterVerse installments, at least the two that we know are being made, that being the new Apple TV show, supposedly called Legacy of the Monsters, and of course Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. They've already filmed, that's it, that's the end of story there. They don't need to go and do any rewrites as far as I know. From everything I've heard, the production for both of these MonsterVerse projects has been insanely smooth, which is either them hiding the reality or it's actually true, and that's cool. So, as far as I know, the Godzilla TV show is mostly already finished, and now obviously coming out in March of this upcoming year, most of the New Empire is probably finished as well, at least the live-action human parts that actually have, you know, writing involved. So it shouldn't really affect the MonsterVerse because these projects are already pretty much completed. They don't need writers, they don't need actors at this point, they just need, you know, like editors and animators and VFX people working on it. But how it's probably going to hurt the MonsterVerse is because the only people that can currently talk and kind of hype up these upcoming movies are the people from the studios, the people, you know, the producers and all these people that are kind of currently in a war with the other creative sorts working on the projects. Meaning that we're probably not going to see any of the actors, you know, going out on social media and promoting the new TV show. Hopefully it all gets cleared up by the time the New Empire comes around. I imagine since the actors are getting involved, that a conclusion is probably soon, you know, I hope at least. But yeah, all the buzz for these upcoming projects is solely going to come down to whatever Legendary wants to show us, to whatever Apple wants to show us for the new TV show. We're not going to get any of that extra bonus buzz content, like with the convention that was supposed to happen. Obviously, we could still end up getting the behind-the-scenes reveal and the concept art or the image stills that we were set to get, but we're not going to get the words from the actors that were probably going to be there to talk about it. We're not going to get anything from any of the writers who were going to be there to talk about it. So we're not going to get any of that, you know, like thought process as to why we're seeing what we're seeing, which is a shame, I think, because that's what makes being a part of a super fandom fun, right? But anyway, guys, KDM also stated that nothing for the Apple TV show was intended to be revealed anyway, which is weird, considering that it's still set to hopefully come out early this fall, or maybe late September. And that raises a bunch of questions as well, so look for a future video on the channel, probably in the next week or so, where we go and kind of tell you what we heard from KDM regarding this new show. And I want to quickly mention that Godzilla -1 is definitely not affected by this. We're still getting that movie, and we're probably still going to get a lot of good marketing content for that. Maybe in August, because I think Japan has a Comic-Con of their own over there, and I don't think their writers are connected with America's writers and all that stuff. You tell me if they are, I don't know. Alrighty, guys and gals, you know the deal. Stick with us here at Dangerville for any more MonsterVerse, Kaiju, Toho, Godzilla, Kong updates. You know the deal. I'll see you in the next one.